Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Give It a Year, my podcast diary. Today, I am recording by a river in BC, beautiful British Columbia. What is a podcast diary? It is a cyberspace I create to share with you thoughts, writing, ideas, art, contemplations, reflections, and insights as a person who struggles with anxiety, fear, body shame, and just coping with life as a Canadian these days, and an artist. So welcome to this week's episode, just very simply titled, Be Present. Without taking up too much time, I'm just going to remind everyone that I do have 4 podcast promises. They're listed below in the description. And that is basically what my podcast is about. Otherwise, it might seem kind of chaotic and random otherwise. I just really do want to make this one fairly short because the whole concept of being present is to be present. And I'm in British Columbia visiting friends of my brother's sister with my boyfriend, of course. So Chris, my boyfriend, his sister has friends in BC, and we were visiting his sister, and she invited us to come out and hang out here. And it's not just sitting by the river right now that's making me aware to be present. The last week and a bit has been full of situations that have pointed out to me that the anxiety and the panic and the fear that I hold around whether my podcast or my workshop or my job is successful really is not as important as it feels. I'm just going to slip out this music so I can chit-chat for a second here. Those things are important. I'm not saying, don't do them, don't have goals. But Chris's mom passed July 9th, and that was just a couple days after last week's podcast. And it raised some emotions for me from when my mom passed, and raised some concerns for me for when my sister will pass someday, because she's older than me, and I anticipate that she'll probably pass before me. And I will not go into details because it's not my place to, but being part of Chris's family and helping them through this time has reminded me how important it is to be present, regardless of how family makes us feel or think or whatever. If family is important to you, you're there. And his family have incredibly, amazingly, and have overwhelmed me with showing me how they've stepped up for each other. And it's a beautiful thing. And it makes me think about whether I've stepped up enough for my own family, specifically my sister and my brother and my niece and nephews. And I think part of the problem is we get caught worrying if we've done enough or if we're doing good enough. And what I'm realizing is I just spent half an hour, 45 minutes journaling before this by the river. And what I've realized is if you spend time worrying and not being active, like I said in the last episode, where, life is simple, it's decision and action. I'm going to digress just a little bit here and just share the thought and the idea that, our world is full of technology, which is very cool. And our world is very busy. And our world has a lot of social media. And our world has a lot of things that are giving us directions and offering ideas and options of what we can do, what we need to do, what we should do, what's the cheapest deal, what's the best deal, how we can be our best, how we can, be prepared. That's a huge message, and a lot of the things where I personally get caught up in my head is I want to make sure I'm prepared and I am safe. And I want to do it right. And it's so much of an illusion because as you are being busy trying to do things right and be prepared and make money, those things can distract you from the things that are truly important, in my opinion, like being there for a family member, especially family members who struggle, especially family members who have situations that might make you uncomfortable. And we dress it up and allow ourselves to feel better about it by saying, I did what I could, which could be true. But everything, like I said, is decision and action, right? Sometimes you have to put yourself first. Sometimes you have to put family first, or friends, or pets, or whatever, But in the end, whatever you do, make sure that you're present. And what I mean by that is don't be in your head. Go out and do something, touch something, clean something, build something, create something. And it's all redundant. It's out there. And the reason I started off in my digression by saying, let me digress, is I think our world is too busy giving us input, giving us things to think about, giving us things to look at, giving us things to compare ourselves to. As I've been visiting these friends up at the cottage, as I sit by this river, I am so content and happy. And we have food, we have supplies, and just sitting by the river, listening to the water rush over the rocks, I feel so content. And I think about how I could possibly not worry about what I look like or my psoriasis or trying to make money. Now listen, I'm not saying money's not important. It's good to make money. Money's good. But there are so many people I've met in my life who do it with the things they love or the things they're really good at, or they do something maybe they don't enjoy, but they do a lot of it and they save it and then they are present where they want to be. I'm kind of rambling today, as I always say, but we are given too much to think about, to look at, to contemplate, and we are not taught enough to sit by a river and think about the things you actually want to do, the things you have done, and the things that you could do. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm not the only person who's ever put this content out there. And my content likely won't reach a whole lot of people, but if you're sitting here listening to me, my advice to you as someone who has struggled through a life, constantly worried about whether I'm doing enough, have done enough, or I'm good enough. The answer is yes. The answer is yes, because the puzzle is you can't do beyond what you will allow yourself to do. So if you allow yourself to get stuck in your head, you'll stay there. But if you allow yourself to jump in and go in a kayak in a river or take a train ride from Ontario to BC, or let yourself have a nap, or go ride in the wilderness, or go build a workshop, or paint a painting, or build a garden, or make a beautiful meal, it's all up to you. I guess the thing I'm understanding is you can't do everything, and you can't do everything well. But you can certainly be present, and even if you suck, you can still say you did it. I went in that river. I tasted that sushi. I hugged that person. I spent time with my family. And we have the ability to take so many pictures. And maybe if we stopped taking selfies and taking more group photos, family photos, maybe it'll ease and slow down this world. Now you have to remember, this is just my diary. I'm not an authority on anything. I'm just here sharing. And this is a long, long way of saying just be present. But don't get mad if you choose to be present just in your head and not in your life, because it's up to you. You can either be present with people or you can be present in your head. I think that's what I'm trying to say this week. And I say that from a place of, this was supposed to be recorded on Tuesday, but just with everything that went on with Chris's family, Tuesday was not possible. And then Wednesday, Thursday, went back to work, and then Friday we left for holidays, and now I'm here. So, and that's the other thing, it's wild to me to think that, only a few days ago I was in Ontario in my home, and now I'm in this place called Yak, BC, and it's beautiful, and I'm surrounded by trees and train tracks and mountains and waters and rivers, and a group of people who are just welcoming. And it's incredible and beautiful. Anywho, I'm going to wrap this up. And as I always promise, I'm going to bring a bright side around to it. A positive edge. And the positive edge is, if you're alive and you're listening to this, my podcast, and you're like, but Jenny, life sucks. Life is horrible. There's nothing good to choose from. Well, here's the thing. You can choose to be present in your mind or with people, but you can also choose to be present, to be happy and be grateful, or you can choose to be present as a victim and be miserable. But the cool part is it's all up to you whether you believe me or not. And just because your life is not the same and you don't look the same and you may not even have money does not mean that your life isn't incredible and that you don't have things to offer, because you do. I do. And you keep trucking, right? And I'm coming at you from a place of doing a lot of reflecting on Chris's mom passing and thinking back to when my mom passed and my family and his family and where I am now and where my life was 10 years ago. And life is cool, but it's way more cool, interesting, rich, and memorable when you're present. And to be present, it means put your phone down. It means talk to someone, do something, get your hands, experience life through your senses. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you hear? What do you feel? Yeah, I guess that's it. And I always like to leave you with a question. So here's my question for you. When is the last time you felt truly present in a moment? You were just living it. You were just there. And the follow-up question to that question is, how much did you love that time? I mean, maybe you don't want to be present. Maybe you want to be stuck in the future or the past, and that's up to you. But me, sitting by the river here in BC, I've come to the conclusion and realization you must be present, and the choice is yours. To be present in your mind, to be present in the moment, to be present, to be grateful, or to be present, to be a victim. And they're all okay. It's all up to you. Okay, as I sign off, I'm going to say, as I always do, my motto or my saying or whatever. Remember, you can absolutely be present and enjoy life by doing the 3 magical things that every human can do, and it doesn't cost anything, and everyone has the ability. 1, you can share your smile. 2, be present and share your love or your kindness. And 3, you can be present and share your laughter. Chris told so many jokes last night, and everyone was laughing. It was so great. And I'm glad I was present to do this week's episode today. Have a great week, everyone. And, I didn't even bring the music up. That's okay. I was so present talking to you that I didn't even think about the music. All good. I'm going to say bye for now, and I will be back hopefully on Tuesday. But if not, definitely next week. Take care, everyone. And remember, despite what the rest of the world is telling you, and social media, and internet, and whatever, the best way to have a great life and an amazing experience while we're here on this planet is not to be the same or to make a gazillion dollars or to do whatever it is they're telling you to do, but it is to be present. Thank you for watching this week's episode, and I look forward to sharing my thoughts next week with all of you. Take care.